Hi, my name is Karina, and I help you find your magic so that you can live a life that you truly love. Today, I want to talk about the role of meditation in deliberately creating your life. So, there are many benefits to meditating, but the primary one is that it helps link this surface level you, this identity, this personality that is out here day to day in the world, with your higher self, with your source, with the part of you that is fundamental and that has all of the answers, where all of the manifesting magic happens, where all of the creative magic happens. It links you to that side of yourself, and it helps bring it forth so that your higher self becomes a more present part of you. And specifically, it helps intertwine that surface level you with your higher self so that what comes forth on a daily basis is your higher self. So what does that mean practically, that our higher self becomes a more present part of us? Well, first of all, it means that we are much more aware of our internal state. We're more self-aware. And so that means that we are able to effectively direct our attention internally away from what we don't want to what we do want. And we're able to catch any autopilot thoughts that we're having, any unwanted thoughts, immediately, or we don't even have them at all. And so that's the first practical benefit to meditating, is that we become much more aware of our internal state. And then the second benefit is that we react less to external circumstances. So we will place greater trust in our inner world and the power of our inner world to create the external. And so when we see something in the external world that we don't necessarily resonate with, we can trace it back very clearly to our inner world and what was going on there. So we might know this on an intellectual level right now, that our inner world creates our outer world, and we may see some evidence of it. But when we meditate, it becomes experiential knowledge. It becomes so obvious that our internal world is creating our outer world. It will feel like we're actually dreaming here, which is what we're doing. This is a waking dream, but that'll become much more of what the experience of being on this planet is like for you. You'll feel like it's a dream because you'll be so aware of the connection between your inner state and your outer world. And then the third practical benefit of being really connected to your higher self, and this is something that is that I personally believe, it's that you tend to make better decisions. So you might have desires that are really true for you, and then you also have desires that maybe you think you should want, or that society or your parents or any authority figure tells you that you should want. And you're much better able to make that distinction between what you really want and what you think you should want. Because, as I mentioned before, you're more aware of your internal state. And so when you make decisions from that standpoint from your true desires, then your decisions lead to lasting changes in your life that you're really happy with. So my standpoint is I never tell you to judge your desires or feel like one desire is better than another at all. But it's just an easier ride. It's an easier life experience when you're able to clearly identify what you truly want versus what you think you want. Because you can absolutely manifest what you think you want, and sometimes it can feel empowering to do that because, then you're aware of your manifesting power. But then if you manifest something that you don't really want, then you're stuck with this experience that's not really bringing you true joy, and then you have to kind of go back in and repeat the process for what you really want. So why not just fast track it, become more aware of your internal state, become aware of what your true desires are, and then go for those, then manifest those. So those are the benefits of meditating. So now, what is the process like when we meditate? Well, what we're doing is we're connecting with this consciousness that is in each of us and that is connecting all of us. And so what we can feel when we're meditating is we can feel like we're connected to everyone and to everything. We can feel this sense of expansion even, and we can feel like absolutely anything is possible for us. Like we can be anything that we want to be because we're linked up to this awareness that can pour itself into any reality that we choose. This divine consciousness, that's what we're connecting ourselves to. And then how do we meditate? So there are many different ways to go about meditating. There are many different schools of thought that have their own associated meditation processes. But I will describe what works best for me, and you can feel free to use this as a template for your own meditation practice. So what I will do is I will get in a comfortable place and I will sit upright. I will gently close my eyes. And the first thing that I'll do when I close my eyes is just become really aware of the sounds around me, however subtle they might be. So it might be the birds chirping outside. It might be the light whir of the air conditioning unit. Any of those subtle sounds, just making them my sole focal point, my sole point of awareness. And then I just settle into this silence that comes as a result. And what I used to do when I first started meditating is when I would get to this place of silence, deep silence, I would gently introduce a mantra into my mind and I would repeat it to the point where it would lull me into this altered state of consciousness. So you can choose any word or any phrase that you can repeat silently to yourself as your mantra. It can be in any language. I would recommend a word or phrase that doesn't have some sort of associated meaning for you, something that's more neutral that you can repeat. And you can just lull yourself into this state of consciousness, this altered, deeply relaxed state of consciousness. And what I do now is I can just get to that place without the mantra. I can just feel this silence. And then what I feel more viscerally in my body is I feel this tingling sensation in my forehead. And that's when I know that I've reached that altered state of consciousness. But I have a lot of friends who go about this meditation process, that the same meditation process, that don't feel anything at all in their body. They just know, they just feel this deep sense of relaxation, this deep silence. And like I mentioned before, this connection, this feeling of expansion. And then you can just stay there for as long as feels comfortable. You can set a timer if you want to. I often do that. I set a timer for at least 20 minutes or longer if I have more time. And then just stay there for as long as feels comfortable for you. And then gently reemerge, giving yourself some time to get back into the sensations of the world around you. For those of you who might be a little bit resistant towards meditating, I completely get that. I felt the same way before I started to meditate. I was exposed to the law of attraction and lots of concepts of personal development concepts, and I knew that meditation was beneficial to me, but I initially resisted it because I thought that it was about getting really intimate with my thoughts. And I didn't want to do that. I was afraid of that because I felt like all these thoughts in my mind, these racing thoughts, I didn't want to uncover them. I was afraid of what I would see. And then once I realized that meditating was actually not about becoming more intimate with or more attached to my thoughts, and just actually detaching myself from my thoughts, that's when I started to become a lot more open to meditating. When I realized that I was actually taking a break from my thoughts. It was the one moment in my day where I could press the pause button on my thinking mind and go into a space that was so much deeper and so much more real, and a place where I could feel real trust and relaxation. So it became really enjoyable for me once I actually started to practice meditating, once I was able to go about it in a way that worked for me. And so if you are resisting meditation, I would definitely encourage you to make this shift in perspective to understanding that you're detaching from your thoughts. This is supposed to be about relaxing, not over-examining your thoughts. And if you're still resistant to meditation, what I often tell my clients, if they're really resisting meditating formally, what I'll say is that if they have an activity that they really love to do that really puts them in a flow state, could be running, could be cooking, dancing, anything that they love to do, to just, the next time that they're doing that activity, just really notice how present they're being during that time. Just kind of take a moment, step back, and notice the presence behind all of that, and understand that that is what meditating is like. So once you get a taste of it, then you might be more open to a formal meditation practice. So let me know how this goes for you. If you have an established meditation practice, I would love to hear what your experience is. If you are trying meditating out for the first time and you're using the process that I outlined as your template, I would love to hear how that goes for you in the comments below. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos on this channel, you can hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when new videos come out, you can hit the bell. With that, thank you so much for watching. Remember your magic. Know that you were meant to create your dream life right here, right now. I'll talk to you soon. Lots of love.